Hey guys, so another quick video breaking down another winning car. This is my personal car. I was racing last weekend with the FarrOut Club, and this F1 NSR custom livery was my choice and was very quick, and I came up with a win. And let's break it down. Let's see what's going on. So guys, those are my three cars that I raced at FarrOut. This is actually my favorite car because I grew up watching Senna driving this thing. So this is like a NSR original body. Actually, I got it as a gift from NSR, and I just included the Interlagos helmet made by Linneo Fernandez, which is something that we're gonna get more soon. Now you're sold out, but those look at the detail on those helmets, so the Marlboro livery. Senna helmet on it. So this is my favorite car to race. I raced like 5 times and I think I won like 4. Favorite car, fastest car that I have. So I tried to set up 2 more, just copying that one, which was the first one. This one, it's a JPS, also a Senna car, a Lotus JPS that custom made with Atalaya decals, Interlagos helmet, and Dennis Sanson did the paint job for me, so it looks amazing. And if you can zoom here, Linneo sent me the driver, and the driver has seat belts, sponsors, and everything. I don't know how hard we can zoom this, but it's full of details. So Linneo made the driver, Linneo from Interlagos made the helmet, and Dennis Sanson using Atalaya decals made the decals and paint the body. So this is another car I was trying to set up, and this is the third car. This is a very special one. This is the one that I raced. That's the one that I won the last race. This is a tribute to Copersucar, the only Brazilian team ever made to the Formula One. That's Emerson Fittipaldi. He left McLaren and enjoy his brother with this team, and he was the driver for it. It's a hell of a history behind it. If you have the chance to learn more about Copersucar, which was the main sponsor, and you need to know because it's a hell of a story. So we made this tribute car. Linneo made it for me. We found the graphics online. It was a lot of work to figure out the graphics. Copersucar is kind of a union that sells sugar in Brazil, and they have enough money to sponsor the car. And I think they run like for 3 or 4 years. Some of those cars, they're in a German museum, the Technique Museum, close to Stuttgart, I think. Yeah. So it was very a big surprise when I went there and I saw a couple of those cars there. So and again, full of details. The helmet, the driver. I don't know if you can see, but the driver, Linneo Fernandez from Brazil, is a huge talent. He made this for me and sent it over. He also closed the scoops on the side, if you compare to the original body. So pretty good stuff. So I'm gonna break down this guy here, which was I tried to copy this guy here, which was the fastest car that I have. I did a couple things differently because we had a visit from Andrea here at the store a month ago or so, and I tried to pick up some stuff and tried some new stuff here on the car, especially here when you see that we have more screws. This car originally comes with 3 pod screws only here, and then what you do, you move to the back, and then for this guy I placed 2 new ones, so I have all 5 screws, so the pod movement is limited. So let's break down this guy here and go to the chassis later on, but let's start with the body. The body, it's always floating. There's a distance here between the screw and the body, and you can see it flows on all the ways, like sideways and front and back. This is one big thing that we learned from Andrea, and I'm trying to put in all of the cars, and especially when you're racing plastic track, that's another detail. We're racing plastic track, so it was a Scalextric plastic track. It's a 4-lane track, which is a beautiful setup. It's very challenging, and this is the car that I tried to set up for there. Since it's a plastic track, what I do is when I'm racing FarrOut, I have 3 cars, so I have like slightly different setups, like taller tires, smaller tires, pod movement, pod kind of stick it, because you don't have much time to try it. It's a club race. You go there, you have like half an hour to try. If you're lucky, you go 2 times around the track, and that's it. You have to come with the cars ready, and you have to decide which one you're going to race. So I knew that this guy was my weapon of choice, and I have those 2 new guys. But I really want to race one of those because I never raced those. So this one is a little faster. I'm going to explain later on the difference that I did on those 2. Basically, I try to use smaller tires on this guy. And this guy here, I put all the five screws, but I have them kind of fixed with almost no movement. And this guy here, if you see, there's a lot of movement, front and back especially. So this was the biggest difference between those two. And this guy here has smaller tires. But one thing that you need to notice on those cars is that because of this motor that has such long magnets, and it does say here, magnet effect, you need to take advantage of this. The club rules states that you need to take off the original magnet and you need to use the original parts. You cannot use any fluids to treat the tires. You cannot glue the tires, and that's it. It's mostly out of the box. The only thing that you can change sometimes is the screws that holds the body, because those you can get loose. The axle you can change for any brands because there's no way to control it. And one thing that they're doing is they're changing the gear for the bronze one, because they seems to have a little problems with the aluminum ones. They gear out, they stress out, and they are gone in if you don't lubricate that very well. So I haven't used the bronze ones. I still have the original aluminum ones. My tires are not glued in any of those cars. The only thing is I put a lot of time truing the tires, which is legal for the class. And if you cannot use any fluids, or lighter fluid or treatment oil, it takes a long time to get a very good result, because this foam, this rubber is very sensitive, so you need to go very slow. Very slow. Sometimes you need to use a little bit of water to cool it down. It's a lot of patience to get this result close to anything else, since you cannot use any fluid. So the main difference between those two, this one has a smaller tire and the pod is fixed. This one has a little big tires and the pod allows a little bit more movement. But one thing that you need to take in consideration is that since you're racing plastic track with rails close to the body, you need to take advantage of the magnet effect. So what I have here is a tool called Magnet Marshal. So Magnet Marshal, even if your car don't have any magnets, they can kind of calculate how much magnet traction you're getting from the motor. So let's see the black car. The black car, 71 grams, you zeroed, and you try here. So it's giving me 57. It's a good number for a car without any magnets. So the car is sitting very low, almost like 1 millimeter off. Yeah, almost 1 millimeter off of the track. And it's giving me 57, 58. So let's see my other car. My other car, the Copersucar one, the one that I actually raced, was a little bit better than that black one. So this guy here is giving me 76. So that might be the reason. And look, this one are bigger tires than the tires on the black one. So check it out. Here you have 17.6, and here you have 17.5. So the black car, even 73 actually, yeah, 4. So the black car, even with the smaller tires, has less magnetic effect than the yellow one. That's because probably the magnets on this motor are stronger than this one. So even with taller tires, I have more magnetic effect to race and have a faster car. So this is one thing that you really need to take in consideration. If your club allows you to, through the tires, you can go as low as you can and use the magnetic effect. That's one big thing. So let's open up. We're using the brass screws provided by NSR, all NSR parts. There's one in front, there's one in the back. Remember that we allow a lot of float on this body. These F1 Formula 1 cars are perfect for that. There's only 2 screws. So here we go. So once again, look at this body. Come on. Look at this thing. Most beautiful NSR Formula 1 car. All right, let's go to the car. So putting this aside, the car is pretty flat. One very important thing when you set up the front wheels, touch the front spoiler to see if the rear wheels are jumping up. If they're not, they're perfect. If they are, you need to fix the front wheels. The car sits very low. It's a little more than 1 millimeter tall in the back. Nothing special here. The things that we do, we remove the magnet. I put another set of screws here to secure the pod. I one little drop of CA glue here to hold the bushings. Make sure that the axle is straight. Make sure that everything is clear. One thing that I do on my cars, I take off this spacer that Formula One's car they have on the sides. I take it off. They're there to secure your gear. So I take the risk. I take it off. I think there's too much weight just rolling around the axle. So I prefer to don't use it. I have all my hubcaps. Lots of grease, lots of oil on the gearing. The gear mesh, it's kind of perfect. There's no noises at all on this car. Motor in the original position, nothing changed. The wires in the original position. One thing that I'm supposed to tell you, that I need to tell you, is that the chassis has very nice points to hold the wires, and those wires, they need to be tucked in because when the body fits, it needs to be under the nose. Another interesting feature of this chassis is you have like 2 440 screws here that you can put here on the bottom. So those ones, they kind of hold the wing so it doesn't hub on the chassis. So what you do is just like you have a little bit out of the hole. I don't know if you guys can see it, but just a little out. So the wing is going to touch those screws, not going to rub in the whole chassis. That's an important, interesting feature. One thing that I really need to call your attention is that the front wheels. As you can see, my front tires are very reduced. So right here, if you want to check, if you can see, let me take this out. This is my tire. This is one original tire from NSR. So if your club allows you to true them down, you can true it. My one here is about 16.3, 16.4, which is minimum that you can go on those chassis because you need them touching the ground. And the original one comes with almost 18.5. Not only you're going to have less weight rolling around, you're going to save a lot of weight on overall weight of your car. So let's just take a look here. Right now, mine is at 1.67 gram, the whole wheel, tire, and hub, and screw hub. And then the original one, complete 2, it's 2.44. So you're saving almost a gram on each side of your car. So it's 2 grams out right there. And those are 2 grams that you don't need because they're going to be just spinning around. You can still have the same height that you need for your car, just much less weight. So the way you do it, I'm going to pick it up a tire 1 second. Let me put my car back together. So the way you do it, you have a lot of room here that you can either cut off or you can just sand it down. So you sand it all down in your tire through and just try to remove all the excess on the sides of the tire. And then you turn your tire, this guy here, to the small one. So you have like 1 or 2 millimeters on the side and a lot of room here. So you're saving 1 gram on each side. That's a big thing. Another thing is just the rear tires. Rear tires very low. Try to be as wide as you can and try to get like 1 millimeter or 1 millimeter, a little bit more here on the back so you can have the magnetic effect. Other than that, that's it. Just regulate your front tires, leave some room. Those chassis, they tend to have some to touch the track, so you need to clear that out. Pod movement, the thing that we do is we try to fix this one, the center one, so we don't have much side movement, and then liberate those 2 guys here just a little bit. There's no movement like this. It's just like sideways play a little bit so the car can jiggle a little bit. And that's it, guys. The guide is the original guide. Braids I need to change clearly. Original guide post here. Nothing special, just like a very well taken care car. All the secrets all on the tires for those guys. A nice livery. Again, look at this. Look at this, guys. It's beautiful. And I'm very happy with this because it got me the win. I like a lot to race those cars because I grew up watching Formula One, this era of 80s, early 90s Formula One. So for me, it's a blast. It's a blast every time that I go there and race those. So that's it. Formula One NSR.